So, so today I started with the prologue and I read the first two chapters. So, all in all, I didn't find anything uh, unique or something which would connect to me, but certain terminologies which the author has used, I think those are just mind blowing. Like he has used the terminology of the arrival fallacy. Like when you set a certain milestone for your life and you achieve that, you feel that you have arrived. So, it kind of reminded me when I completed my chartered accountancy. I felt like, okay, having done my articleship and cracking that exam in the third go, I thought my time has come. You feel like that. But it's only a beginning for a newer life. Then again, the author has used a quote of Mark Twain in his book, which is like, it is not what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It is what you know for sure that does. So again, it kind of reminded me when we are overconfident in life at some point of time, like we know something for sure. For example, if you are going somewhere and you are quite sure that it is the way to reach that place, but no. So it's better to maybe hold back and check it once again and then. And it kind of again reminded me of my CA journey. While in exam, we are sure that, okay, you have attempted this question in a way and you know the answer for sure. But again, there is slight kind of twist or changes in the question, which, entangles you and you're not able to arrive at the correct answer. So that way. Then again, I read about the explanation of the five types of wealth, which the author tries to explain. And a good thing which I did like about those explanation was that everywhere he has not explained those concept like in singularity or in individual or an individual basis. Everywhere he has tried to intermingle those concepts, like each type of wealth, like it's not that mental health is important at the cost of financial wealth. He has very rightly explained the importance of each types of wealth, and I kind of connect with it that yes, um, like he has asked to maintain a balance for every stage of her life. So that is something which I quite like. Then maybe when I read further chapters, I'll find something new or with something would be relevant for me, or I would be able to connect with it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Hi, Bharat. Good to see you. Can
Hi,
we all
hello,
come on
hello.
camera for a minute with a smile? So here we go. Let's count one, two, three together.
One,
One,
two,
two,
three.
three. Perfect. Yes, Bharat. Go
Uh,
ahead.
What do you?
Keshav's
How do you take
wonderful
a? How do you
smile.
take a photograph on the screen? I don't know.
Uh, Technology transfer.
No, no, no. Seriously, I'm asking.
Okay, I'll share later.
Is
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
have this session.
so Keshav's wonderful smile. The way he was speaking every time he was smiling, and it was wonderful to see him. So after that well discussion on Friday, I am just focusing on mental wealth. And as you know, okay, mind and body is a one system. So when I improve my mental wealth, automatically my physical wealth will also improve. So when I'm now focusing on what are the triggers I'm facing every day whenever I'm going through any situation. So few days back we are just returning after a morning walk. So there is a junction where the crossroads are there. So what smart people do, instead of waiting for the signal, they come inside and then take the left turn and then go. So one bike just made pass pass us very fast. So imaginary, I was fighting with him. Hey, what the hell you are doing? Why you can't wait for those few seconds? Even he has not touched me, he was just far away from me. But that just triggered my that anger. Ki, hey, I was just imaginary fighting with him. Ki, I should have talked to him. Hey, why you are doing this kind of thing? Why that triggered? Because 2 days back when we were passing through the same road, one dumper was very close to my wife. Had she turned to see what is there, the only we could hear the sound of that dumper. If she had turned to see what was there, probably should have been touched by the dumper. That time we were very again we but instead of going the blame zone, we just talked about what are the things we went to the responsibility frame. Ki, why this happened? Because the road, if you divide the road between two sides, then first one side dumper is having the right to use that. Since the footpath is blocked with some other construction activity going on the road, so there no way to you can walk on the footpath, and you need to walk some part on the inside of the road. So we need to be mindful while walking on the road. We need to be away from the movement of the vehicle. So that reframe frame again we could get that. Few days back we were doing the yoga session. Constantly it was having buffering. The Saurabh was saying some movement change and start buffering. So it happened number of times. Maybe because of internet session, whatever internet weak signals, whatever it was. But instead of getting frustrated, we just okay, let's have it. We are getting the instruction when to change the action, so we'll continue with that action. That action will continue for a few seconds. So now I am observing all my triggers and what emotion state is creating, and how I am dealing with those states. So I'm just observing those kind of triggers, and I'm working on the states and how I can come out of the state immediately using the right responsibility frame or the mind and body or the perception projection frame. So that I am working on the mental wealth for improving my mental wealth. So that is what I would like to share. Yeah.
That's great, Bharat. See, this
Thank
is this
you.
is what we are looking for, like reading the book and living it. Yeah, we are already living those moments. The whole point is connecting the dots, that how things can be made more interactive itself. Being interactive with every action that I'm taking. Phenomenal, beautiful sharing. Good, yeah, Mangala ma'am. You need to unmute yourself.
What is
You are muted,
expected
ma'am.
of me? Yeah. What is expected of me? If I could know that, I would just tow myself in that line.
Okay, well, in this session, what we do is we are reading this book, The Five Types of Wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not only just reading the book; we are actually living the book.
Yeah.
So that's what Bharat was talking about. Keshav was talking about. So it's like for you also, you just read the book, whichever chapter you want to read, and whichever portion of that chapter you want to read, and then actually apply it in your day-to-day activity on that particular day. So like you're reading it in the
Wonderful.
morning, and then you're doing that activity, and we are collecting in this evening session for 20 to 25 minutes at 7:30 p.m. from Monday to Friday, and you're supposed to share that experience. That what,
Oh, it's every day, Monday to Friday. Wonderful. How great. So
yeah,
tomorrow I'll read and
it's
come.
all about living the book. It's not
Yeah,
about just reading the book.
I did know a little bit about it, that one of the aspects of wealth is time.
Mm.
So I'd like to just comment something. Of course, I have not read it, but time is something which you can spend, but you need to add value to time to really understand the value of time. Otherwise, there are time wasters and distractions.
Yeah.
But if we start attaching value to it, I think it transforms it from that mundane, routine, neglected work to something more creative, innovative, and it could even change the personality or even the life of a person.
Absolutely. So what we are doing here is that we are not sharing our insights from anywhere else.
Mm.
We are basically just living that portion from the book
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
coming up and sharing that. It's all about I, me, myself rather than we, our, you. It's not about insight sharing, or it's not about sharing your aha moments or what you
No, no,
got
no,
from
no.
the book.
No,
It's
no,
all
no.
about how you lived something some activity you did in the day and you can connect it with the book. See why we have picked this book. There's a reason behind it. The reason being that this is a book which was written almost a year back,
Mm-hmm.
and it became a New York Times bestseller. And it is in
Okay.
the New York Times bestseller list for almost last 3 months
Mm-hmm.
at number 2 position. So if a book has got that much of appeal or that much of readership, that much of salesman selling in the, happening in the internet, so happening in the world, so naturally it has got something. So what we are
Definitely.
doing that there are many book clubs, online book sessions who are reading this book, they are sharing their insights. We are doing it
Mm.
in a different way. We are actually just living the book. That how the
Yeah.
author has lived the book, because author has experienced shared his experience based on what he lived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what makes a writer an author.
Yeah.
When you author a book, actually you become an authority on whatever you are saying.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are just writing a book. You are just reading 10 books. You are writing a book. That's about just writing a book.
Yeah.
Authoring a book means you become an authority. So we are just experimenting with that authority. That whatever he has shared, let's just leave some of his thoughts, some of his ideas, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole intention.
And then I think in time, once you realize time, you know what is the priorities in your time, correct?
Yeah.
In
So
your
again,
life.
again, again, what is happening here that you are sharing your insights about time or time
Yeah.
management.
Yeah.
We are not doing that here. It's only about my own experience. Like if I read the time wealth portion of the book and then I apply something, some of that learning, some of those ideas, and then I come back in the session and share, okay, this is what I read, and this is what I did, and this is what I experienced.
Wonderful. Done.
Yeah.
करेंगे कोई problem नहीं.
So that's what we are doing. Okay, so it's my turn now, and
Yes.
so what I did that I am still in chapter 6 as I was sharing in my last session, and in the chapter 6, what the chapter 6 is all about. What author has done is he had shared how much time normally you and I spend with family, with children, with friends, with partner, with co-worker, and with self. And the graph, if you observe the graph, the time spent with self, with the time with spent alone, is actually going up and up and up and up and up. So like
Mm-hmm.
as you are growing, your time commitment with yourself is also going up compared to time commitment with others. So let me just read out what he summarized after he figured out 6 key lessons for life as far as time
Mm-hmm.
wealth is concerned, and investing or connecting time with people in your life. So he said that
Mm-hmm.
family time is finite, cherish it.
Mm-hmm.
Children time is precious, be present. So you, unless you have children, you are not a part of that time wealth. But if you have children, then it's a precious time that you are present with your children, because once upon after some time they will also leave you. And every human being who comes to you and me or interacts with you and me, they come for a reason and come for a season, including your parents and your children, your spouse, everybody. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then he says friend time is also limited. It's prioritize the real friends. So what he's suggesting that identify the people who are your real friends instead of just spending time with people who may not be your friend anyway. They look like friend, but they are not real friends.
Yeah, the difference between acquaintances and friends.
Yeah, so that's what he's suggesting. Forward followed by partner time is meaningful, never settle. So never settle on that the time that is. In fact, you discover that you spend most of your time with your life partner. That's what that graph suggesting. And what is suggesting that that time is really meaningful. So do not settle for anything else when you are investing your time with a partner. Followed by co-worker time is significant, find energy. So when you're working with the co-workers, find out people who can help you to improve your energy levels. Okay. Otherwise, working with others, they will be draining out your energy levels. They will be having kind of discussions or kind of experience sharing, which may not help you to improve your quality of life. So as far as co-workers are concerned, you should be very selective. People who can bring energy in your work environment. And finally, the time with self. And that time that author is talking about is whatever time you're spending with self, because most of the time you're spending with self only. Make sure you are loving yourself. Do not do anything. Do not do any activity where you discover that you are not in love with yourself. Okay, so that's very, very crucial. Now, based on that, you also talked about a 2015 article by Tim Urban, who published a blog post titled The Tail End, where he was talking about that despite not being at the end of your life, you may very well be nearing the end of your time with some of the most important people in your life.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
These are such crucial moments.
yeah. So,
I have just gone through all that.
yeah, yeah. So, so what's important is that listening to this whole sentence, that despite not being at the end of your life, my life, I may very well be nearing the end of my time with some of the most important people in my life. Maybe I'm getting away from them or they're getting away from me for whatever reason. So you know what happened actually. So this weekend I was in Allahabad with my wife, and we just thought upon that. Okay, let's go there because we were planning it, and we couldn't go to during the Mahakumbh. In fact, at some point of time, we decided to go. Then we thought ourselves there is no point going inside in a crowded state, because crowd is something which both of us want to avoid. So eventually, we decided not to go with the crowd. Let's wait. We'll go on some other day. So eventually, this 12th yesterday it was a Buddha Purnima, so we just planned the day, and we went on 11th. And this is where I was also reading the book at the same time, the same chapter 6 where I was stuck when we had our last session. And I was, this is the statement which I got attached to, is that I'm spending most of my time with my spouse. Most of my lifetime spending with my spouse. Whether I'm talking to her or not, whether I'm in talking terms with her or not, whether even at home she's doing her own thing, I'm doing my own thing. The whole point is that she's the most important person with whom I'm spending most of my lifetime. Compared to my parents, compared to my siblings, compared to my friends, compared to my colleagues, compared to my children. Okay. And so the point is that let us give value to that. So naturally, I was supposed to have this session yesterday also, because it's for the Monday, and we are supposed to have this session in the evening as well. So I had to basically think that whether I should do the session or I should spend time with my. So though it was only a 15-20 minutes, half an hour session from 7:30 p.m. But anyway, for some reason it didn't happen. Though I had an intention to start the session, some network issues was there, and I said, okay, universe is giving me a signal that it's okay that not to have the session tonight and just spend time. So by the time I got a connection, it was almost over. I got a connection around 8 o'clock, and I saw that people were there, and they said that even Bharat said that Pinaki is spending time with his wife, so that's why we couldn't have the session. So see how sometimes universe also conspires and manifests that time that you really want to spend with your spouse. See, if there had been a network, I would have been in the session anyway. Yeah. So there was no uh, uh, I would say disturbance over there. So we had a very good time with together. So now this chapter has a wonderful statement, which is at the end of the session, which says the ones who embrace this harsh reality, like investing in your time wealth, means using the awareness of time's impermanence to spark action. It is building the power to direct your attention to the things that truly matter and ignoring the rest.
Well, it's a very strong sentence.
Ignoring the rest. So many a times we fail to do that, ignoring the rest. At least I can say about myself that I fail to do that. Sometimes life teaches you. So life taught me yesterday between 7:30 to 8 p.m. that investing my time with my wife is more important right now than having this session. Okay. Universe taught me because there was some connectivity when I couldn't join the session. And then it says it is achieving control over your time, how you spend it, where you spend it, and whom you spend it with.
Yeah.
So after reading this chapter, and I was what I was doing throughout yesterday and a big time today, like from throughout the day in the morning, that it is basically doing a time audit. That where I'm spending my time, with who I'm spending my time, and how much I'm spending that time with. And then asking a question to myself, is it really worth it? The time that I'm spending in something. And so that's all what I have to share tonight. This is what my discovery is. And I would try to invite all of you to at least do just one day, just put together and observe that what you are doing every hour, and just figure out that whatever I've done in last 1 hour, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Considering time wealth, you can connect it with other types of wealth also, like your social wealth, your financial wealth. Figure out actually at least it is worth it or not.
Time spent with you is definitely worth it.
So wherever you're spending, you are investing
Yes,
your time.
sir. I'm
Wherever you're investing your time. So
I'm
it's a
investing
time
right
audit.
now.
It's like doing a time audit.
We are investing in you. Is time spent with you is really very valuable and lots to learn. So that's it.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
it for tonight. I'll just
Yes.
start my next session
Yes.
at
Thank
8
you.
o'clock.
Thank you very much. We enjoyed it. Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
share the
Yeah.
outcome of this
Thank you.
conversation also shortly.
Yeah. I will definitely send it to you.
Bye bye.
Bye.